And just with slight little differences here and there, it's going to make the face look totally different. Different eyebrows, slightly different nose shapes, slightly different mouth shapes is making everybody look totally different. All right, now that we have the basic face drawn, let's add some more details, hair, and that kind of stuff. The ears on a person usually start about the top of your eyebrows and go down to almost where the nose is. So they're usually about that tall. So I'm just going to do really simple curves on either side. If you make these curves gigantic like that, you're going to have huge monkey ears, and so that's totally up to you how big you want these ears to be. I'm making mine really close to her head. Same thing, top of the eyebrows, bottom of the nose. That's about how tall your ears are going to be. Just curve it, bring it back in, do a little extra curves right there for the ears. Same thing on this guy. Top of the eyebrows, bottom of the nose, top of the eyebrows, bottom of the nose. Curve his ears out. Now just make this curve at the top right here to make it look like it's an actual ear that has an opening to it. Okay, on our way. Next, let's define this jawline. I'm gonna make mine nice and curved and smooth. That comes from the middle of her ear all the way down to the bottom here. Okay, now that I'm getting towards the end of my drawing, I'm starting to push a little bit harder on my pencil so I can see my lines. But before that, I was barely pushing on anything, okay? So the same thing on this guy. Since I wanted to be a little bit more masculine and a little bit more like a guy, I'm gonna give him a little bit different jawline. I'm gonna draw straight lines down first, and then kind of angle it really hard like this, so it's not a nice curve. And then I'm gonna give him a flat chin right here at the bottom. When you put more angles on a person, they tend to look a little bit more masculine. And if you do more curvy lines, they look a little bit more feminine. Next, the neck starts here at the very bottom of the ears. It follows the side of the cheek. And once you get to about here where the mouth is, that's when you start drawing your neck coming down. Same thing on this side. I'm going to start at the ear, follow this curve, and as soon as I get to where the mouth is, then I'm going to start curving out and doing my neck. So make sure that your neck isn't too thin and isn't too wide. What I see a lot of people do is they start at the ear and they draw lines down like this, and the person has a gigantic neck. So remember, it follows the curve of your cheek. So you start at the ear. As you're moving down the side of the cheek, as soon as you get to where the mouth is, curve it down like that. You have a nice neck. Starting at where the chin is, if you make a line off to the side like that, you'll get at her shoulders. So it lines up right there. And I'm just going to do a curve like this for now, so it looks like she's wearing a shirt. I'm going to do the same thing on this guy. Start right here on the ears. I'm going to curve down, and as soon as I get to where his mouth is, that's where his neck's going to be. And this guy's kind of a buff dude, so he's got a big neck. Okay? And then again, right where the chin is, that's where I want the shoulders to come off. I can put a curved line underneath to make it look like he's wearing a shirt. All right, hair is by far the most difficult thing to draw on a person, and this is where things can go kind of wonky really quick. So one thing I don't want you to do is just scribble all over the hair and try to make it like hair, or draw a bunch of just lines like this to make hair, because that's not what hair looks like. Hair is a shape, hair is a form made up of tiny, tiny little lines. And it's not going to touch her head, it's going to float. So I'm going to put a little dot right above her head, right in the center. And from that line, I'm going to draw the sides of the hair. And look, it's not touching the head at all. It's just curving over the side. I'm going to have it go behind the ears and over her side like that. Over here, same thing. I'm going to draw over the ears all the way down like that. Now I've drawn the shape of what that hair is going to look like around the head. Now the important part here is creating some bangs or some way of covering this forehead up. Otherwise, it's going to look like she shaved all of her hair off all the way to the back of her head. So let's put a line here. This is called your hairline. And we're going to connect from ear to ear. I'm going to give her bangs, like I said. So I'm going to start coming up like this on either side. And then I'm gonna curve a line that comes across like that. That's gonna be where her bangs are. Now all I need to do is erase the top of her head. So her hair is parted right down the middle. So I'm gonna draw a line that comes to about there. And I'm gonna draw lines that start at this part and go all the way to the ends of her hair. Your hair doesn't just stop all of a sudden and then start up again. Each hair will go all the way down to the end. You don't need to draw a ton of them, just a few here and there. I'm also going to draw her bangs, something like that. Looks like her hair needs to be a little bit higher, so I'm going to give her a little bit higher hair. And I might even have a couple of flippies coming off here at the bottom. I might even put a flower in her hair. Okay, for the guy now, let's give him some really simple dude hair. So again, I'm gonna draw the shape of the hair, what it looks like on top. Just a line that connects from ear to ear. So starting at the top and ending over here, I'm gonna draw a line that goes over, and I'm just gonna put a couple of spikies in it. That. I'm just drawing this interesting line that goes from ear to ear. Now I'm going to draw the hairline here. And then erase the top of the head. And to make this look a little bit more like hair, we will give it some texture. So something like that. Those are a girl and a boy. Now, if you want to take this to another level, you can try shading it as well. I think we tried this earlier this year. So I'm gonna leave the girl alone. I'm gonna put her off to the side for now. And I'm gonna work on shading this guy. So if my light is coming from this direction, let's say, the sun is shining here, it's only gonna hit this side of the face, and this side will pretty much be in darkness. So if you take the side of your pencil and you start slowly building up some shadow on this side of the face, obviously this ear won't have any sun hitting it at all. This side of the face won't have any sun hitting it at all. This side of the neck will also be in shade. And this shoulder will be in shade. So you're really just kind of coloring in about half of your face. I'm going to stop right here at the edge of the nose because that's when the sun is going to start hitting as it rounds around the nose. So I'm going to stop my shading about halfway up my face. I'm just barely rubbing it with the side of my pencil like that. All right. Now there are a couple of spots that we don't want to have in shadow, because if the light's hitting here, there will be a little spot here, which is under your eye, that the light will hit. So I'm going to go ahead and erase that spot right under the eye. It's almost the shape of a rounded triangle. So it's sort of flat on the top, and then it kind of comes to a point there. And I want to put a little bit of shadow underneath this eyebrow, because that is also being hidden from the sun. I can also add a little shadow inside the ear here and underneath this chin. And now that I have all the shadow placed, I can really kind of push those values a little bit and make things a little bit darker where they need to be. Like this edge of the face is going to be much darker. Okay, so let's use what we learned to draw a quick picture of Batman. He's pretty easy since you can't really see his eyes anyway. So we're just going to draw a really quick little picture, just utilizing the things that we just learned. It doesn't have to be that detailed. So let's just start with a really simple shape for the head. We're not going to go completely realistic on this, but we are going to use the ideas. So I'm going to make a head shape about halfway as his eyes, right? His nose is about there, and I'm going to put his mouth a little bit higher than normal because I want him to look super, super strong with a big old chin. So I moved his mouth a little bit higher, his nose is about halfway, his eyes are a little bit higher than halfway. And once that's laid out, then you can start just filling in the details. So let's give him some eyes, let's give him a nose, pointy nose, give him his mask. Make him mad because he's Batman, very serious. And we know to make his mouth this wide because it'll match the insides of his eyes. And give him a big neck coming right off the side. Little bumps for where the ears would be. Let's bring this up, give him some bat ears. Top of his head. Okay, artists, that's going to do it for today. Please practice that over the week. Draw a lot of different kinds of faces. Draw your family, draw people around the house, try to draw yourself, look yourself in the mirror, and follow these steps to see if you can draw a good portrait of yourself. And then obviously email that to me and let me know that you have tried that. If you'd like a side project, I showed the little ones how to make this emoji flower project. So if you'd like to do that one, it is also online on my YouTube channel. All right, guys, have a great week. Keep drawing. I'll see you next week.